Whoa. Welcome everyone to the Thursday, June 23rd, Police Services Board public agenda. I'll call this meeting to order. This time I'll do our land acknowledgement statement. We begin the meeting this morning by acknowledging that the Niagara region is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Haudenosaunee, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The Regional Municipality of Niagara Police Services Board stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. I'll now go into our roll call. Member D'Angela.
Present.
Member Eek.
Present.
Member Gale.
Present.
Member Gibson. Present. Member Lawson.
Present.
And Member McKendrick.
Present.
Good morning, Tara.
Good morning.
Are there any declarations of conflict of interest this morning? None. Adoption of the minutes. If I could have members Gale and Gibson move the minutes of the public board meeting held May the 19th, 2022. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Reports from the board chair. Before we begin today's meeting, I would like to take a moment to remember Staff Sergeant Rom DiGidio, who passed away on May the 25th. Rom was well known and well respected in the community and by his many friends and colleagues within the service and across the region. We are all very saddened by his sudden passing. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family, friends, and members of the service during this difficult time. And I'd ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence if you're able, in memory of Rom. Thank you. And on behalf of the board, I'd like to welcome Ron Leclerc to our meeting this morning. And Ron is joining us virtually by Zoom. Ron is with the Inspectorate of Policing at the Ministry of the Solicitor General, and he serves as a policing services advisor to police service boards across Ontario. He's at our meeting today as part of a routine visit by policing services advisors to police boards across the province. We are also pleased that Ron is attending our meeting virtually today, and we look forward to his continued participation at future board meetings. Welcome, Ron. Earlier this year, the Niagara Regional Police Services Board asked the service to attend a council meeting for each of Niagara's local municipalities to address any local police-related questions or concerns specific to each municipal council. As well, any board member who represents or resides in the respective municipality was invited to attend the council meeting as board representative for this important initiative. To date, we have attended Port Colborne, Fort Erie, Niagara Falls, Town of Lincoln, Thorold, West Lincoln, and Welland. And upcoming is Wainfleet on July the 12th at 7 p.m. The Canadian Association of Police Governance hosts monthly webinars as part of its education strategy to keep police boards and police executives across Canada apprised of issues currently impacting the policing community. Since our last meeting, board members have attended 3 webinar sessions for discussions relating to data-driven decision-making strategies, exploring police culture through a leadership, legal, and governance lens, and leaning on the community engagement plan. The next webinar is scheduled for July the 21st at noon and is entitled Predictive Policing and Charter Issues. Connection details will be provided to our board members at a later date. On May the 26th, Vice Chair Eek joined Chief McCullough and his executive staff at a recruit graduation ceremony for 8 new police constables to the Niagara Regional Police Service. The ceremony provided an opportunity to welcome Niagara's newest police constables to the service and to meet with members of their families. We welcome all of them. On May 26 and 27, board members participated in the Ontario Association of Police Service Boards 2022 Annual General Meeting and Conference. There were approximately 200 delegates registered from across Ontario. I attended in person along with members Gibson, Lawson, and the board's executive director, Deb Reed, as well as Vice Chair Eek, who joined virtually. There was a number of excellent sessions held at the conference, and future presentations will be made to the board on human trafficking in Niagara, as well as an update on the activities of our local Crime Stoppers. At the AGM, the OAPSB board reviewed the annual financial statements and auditor's report and proposed resolutions and ratified the OAPSB board of directors for the 2022-2023 term. Patrick Weaver, chair of the Chatham-Kent Police Services Board, was re-elected chair of the OAPSB board of directors, and our very own member, Kevin Gibson, mayor of Waynflete, was appointed to the OAPSB board as a Zone 4 director. Congratulations, Kevin. On June the 20th, Vice Chair Eek and I joined Chief McCullough and his executive staff at an auxiliary recruit graduation ceremony for 12 new auxiliary police members to the Niagara Regional Police Service. The ceremony provided an opportunity to welcome Niagara's newest auxiliary members to this service. On June the 28th, Heartland Forest is hosting a donor appreciation night prior to the official reopening of the Nature Center on the 30th of June. In addition to its many supporters, Heartland Forest has extended an invitation to the board in recognition and appreciation of the special fund donations that have been made to Heartland Forest throughout the years. This event will take place at Heartland Forest in Niagara Falls from 4 to 6, and attendees will have an opportunity to view the Nature Center's new exhibits. Board members interested in attending are asked to confirm with board staff. On July the 13th, I will be attending the Canadian Association of Police Governance biannual roundtable for police service board and commission chairs. These meetings are designed to allow chairs from across Canada promote open dialogue and knowledge sharing between police service boards on a national level. The board's regular monthly meeting for July has been rescheduled, and the board will hold its July meeting on Tuesday, July the 19th, beginning at 9 a.m. The meeting will be held here in the community room at Niagara Regional Police Headquarters. That ends my report. Any questions? Thanks. On to the chief's report. Chief McCullough.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. Just wanted to start this morning by talking about our Stop Hate Niagara campaign. I've left a pamphlet with each of the board members. And the service is committed to ensuring a safe community and the equitable treatment of all who live in and visit the Niagara region. Since early 2022, the service has been working with the community partners and the Chief of Police Community Inclusion Council on a campaign to address hatred-related incidents in Niagara. The service has launched a Stop Hate Niagara campaign aimed at eliminating barriers to reporting hate crimes or hate incidents, while also providing further information on the differences between hate crimes and hate incidents. Hate crime pamphlets with more information can be found at district front desks and online, and they'll also be provided to places of worship and community groups across the Niagara region through the efforts of our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Unit. The pamphlets have also been translated into French, Spanish, Mandarin, Arabic, Farsi, Ukrainian, Hindu, and Urdu. Many thanks to the Niagara Folk Art Multicultural Center, in particular, Executive Director Emily Kovacs, for their assistance in translating the pamphlets into the most common languages that we're seeing here in Niagara. Just with respect to our 2022 homicide and attempt homicide statistics, during the reporting period from May 17th to June 21st, we had 2 homicides and 1 attempt homicide. So far in 2022, we have 4 homicides and 5 attempt homicides. Comparatively, in 2021, we had 6 homicides and 3 attempts. In 2020, we had 5 homicides and 3 attempts. In 2019, 7 homicides and 2 attempts. And in 2018, we had 2 homicides and 8 attempts. I'll just provide the board with some information on the 2 homicides. The first on Sunday, June the 12th, 2022, at approximately 3:40 a.m., One district officers responded to the area of Pleasant Avenue and Lake Street in the city of St. Catharines for reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, officers discovered 3 victims as a result of this incident. One victim was pronounced deceased at the scene. 2 other victims were transported to hospital. The second victim suffered injuries, serious injuries, and was transported to an out-of-town hospital for treatment. And the third victim was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The service's homicide unit has assumed control of this investigation. The deceased victim in this matter has been identified as a 33-year-old male. No other information regarding his identity is being released by police at the request of the family. The second victim in this matter, a 32-year-old male, sustained life-threatening injuries, and the 34-year-old female received non-life-threatening injuries and is recovering. The investigation has determined that the victims and suspects attended a social gathering at a residence on Pleasant Avenue just prior to the shooting. The relationship between the victims and suspects and events leading up to the shooting remain part of the ongoing investigation. And on Tuesday, March the 29th, one district detectives commenced an investigation into the death of a 32-year-old male who was found deceased in his apartment located in the Roehampton Avenue area of St. Catharines. In partnership with detectives assigned to the Opioid Enforcement and Education Unit, investigators identified criminality that resulted in the arrest of 2 adult individuals from the city of Hamilton. Further investigation revealed the death of the 32-year-old male was directly related to the consumption of an illegally obtained opioid, specifically fentanyl. On Friday, June 10th, 33-year-old Steele Sutton of Hamilton was charged with manslaughter, trafficking in controlled substance, and failed to comply with the release order. The Opioid Enforcement and Education Unit is mandated to provide education and raise public awareness regarding the risks and dangers associated with the misuse of opioids, while incorporating a focus on enforcement to investigate opioid-related issues and reduce the availability of opioids within our community. It should also be noted that the unit is funded by the Ontario government's Community and Safety Policing Grant. And there's some information with regards to the attempt murder that I referred to earlier. On May 29th at 12:40 a.m., 2 district officers responded to a disturbance at Club 7 at 5355 Ferry Street in the city of Niagara Falls. Upon arrival, officers were directed to the victim in the parking lot area adjacent to the club, who was suffering from multiple stab wounds. The victim's injuries were considered serious in nature, resulting in the victim being transported to an out-of-town trauma center for medical care. 2 district detectives attended the scene and assumed carriage of this investigation. They subsequently identified, arrested, and charged Ricardo Valderrama, 52 years, of Niagara Falls, who was an employee of Club 7 with the following offenses: attempt murder and aggravated assault. Valderrama was held in custody pending a bail hearing and was later released from custody on a release order. Some information with regards to our traffic fatalities and serious collision statistics for the month of May. There was 1 fatal motor vehicle collision that occurred during May, and there were no life-threatening injuries during that same time frame. To date, we have 7 fatal collisions in 2022. Comparatively, in all of 2021, we had 21 collisions that were fatal. In 2020, there were 16. In each of 2018 and 2019, there were 13. And in 2017, there were 16. So we're trending favorably. Some information with regards to the 1 fatality. On Sunday, May the 1st at approximately 10:15 p.m., officers along with Niagara EMS and Fort Erie Fire Services responded to reports of a single vehicle collision on Bertie Street near Concession Road in the town of Fort Erie. Investigation revealed that a black four-door sedan had been involved in a high-speed collision with a fire hydrant, severing the hydrant from its underground piping. The lone occupant, a 19-year-old male driver from Fort Erie, was pronounced deceased at the scene. And detectives from our collision reconstruction unit continue to investigate the circumstances surrounding that collision. Some items that were in the news. In March 2022, two district street crime detectives commenced an investigation into the distribution of illegal drugs occurring in the city of Niagara Falls. The afternoon of May 24th, detectives received judicial authorization to execute a search warrant at an address in the area of Barker Street and Drummond Road. As a result of the investigation, crystal methamphetamine, fentanyl pills, and approximately $5,000 believed to be from the proceeds of crime were seized. The combined estimated street value of the seized drugs is believed to be in excess of $34,000. A 36-year-old Niagara Falls man has been arrested and charged with numerous drug-related offenses. At approximately 12:10 a.m. on June the 1st, one district officers responded to a report of an unwanted male and a disturbance in the downtown St. Catharines area. When officers arrived in the area of Hellawells Lane and St. Paul Street, they encountered a large disturbance. Witnesses directed officers to a male who was actively fighting as being the instigator in this incident. Officers attempted to arrest the male, who began to violently thrash out and resist arrest. After a lengthy and violent struggle, officers were able to subdue and handcuff the male. One of the officers was headbutted in the face. Another was cut after being struck in the face. And third officer suffered cuts to their hand and body. Fortunately, all of the injured officers are considered to have sustained minor injuries. A search of the accused following his arrest uncovered suspected cocaine and methamphetamine in his pockets and was charged with several drug-related offenses in addition to assault police charges. Then in one district, officers are investigating a series of disturbing vandalism incidents, which included racist and homophobic words and explicit images. On Sunday, June the 12th, uniform officers responded to a report of spray paint damage on a home on George Street near Catherine Street in St. Catharines. Racist and homophobic words had been sprayed on the house siding using blue and orange spray paint. Officers continue to investigate in the area, finding multiple vehicles and buildings that were targeted, including the exterior of Harriet Tubman School. The statue of Harriet Tubman on the property was also vandalized with paint. Officers were able to identify a total of 13 incidents of damage to property, which included 2 school buses, 6 passenger vehicles, 3 residential homes, and 1 business, along with 1 elementary school where a statue was signed and the exterior of the school sustained damage. Collective damages are estimated at more than $5,000. The investigation by detectives has uncovered video footage of the 2 suspects. Their photos can be found on our website, as well as our various social media channels. The service certainly recognizes the harmful impact that this crime has had on members of the community, and I want to assure members of the public that we are working diligently to bring those responsible before the courts and to hold them accountable for their actions. Anyone with information regarding the incident, including the identity of the suspects, are urged to contact detectives or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or 8477. And Mr. Chair, that concludes my report for this morning. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief McCullough. Questions to the chief? Seeing none, again, thanks. We're going on to item 7, presentations, and I'll call on Chief McCullough at this time.
Thanks very much. It's my pleasure to introduce Constables Rob Richardson and Constable Rusty England as recipients of the Police Service Board's prestigious Award of Excellence. I'll just provide the board with a little bit of background information as to what led to the nomination and ultimately the choice by the board to award them with this award. In 2021, Constable Richardson and England were members of the 1 District Foot Patrol Unit in St. Catharines. The officers provided a highly visible and approachable police presence in the downtown area, primarily on foot to enhance public safety. The officers made it their goal to interact with residents, merchants, and community outreach programs to strengthen community and police relations, foster collaboration in addressing and identifying community concerns. They both created a positive impact for all individuals living and working in St. Catharines. Constable Richardson and England continue to work closely with the Southridge Shelter after working together to create an officer liaison program. As a result of their interactions, residents, staff, and volunteers have reported a greater sense of calm and safety. Staff have also reported that residents generally have a greater feeling of respect and trust with the police and genuinely appreciate the program. The officers work closely on a daily basis with the Niagara Assertive Street Outreach, or NASO team. The NASO workers help homeless individuals get housing. Through NASO, the officers are able to offer individuals who are frequently the subject of trespassing and unwanted persons calls an alternative to the traditional police response. They've greatly assisted with marginalized individuals, and in doing so, have created a unique bond with them and those who wish to help them. This relationship has opened many other doors with other community agencies that wouldn't traditionally trust a police relationship. The officers recognize the value of these ongoing relationships and have created a bi-weekly committee meeting where several community partner agencies come together to discuss immediate and community concerns. These meetings have proven to be valuable in keeping all agencies connected. The committee meets to address particular locations in the community that require extra attention. The committee members then flood the area in an attempt to offer assistance to try and resolve the issue as a team in coordination with the police. Constables England and Richardson are very passionate about the community connections they've made with various agencies and make every effort possible to maintain these open lines of communication. They've developed a training program, community-oriented response and engagement training course. The purpose of the program is to introduce officers to the roles and functions of various community partners and government agencies working in 1 district. This creates a better understanding of what each agency contribute to various incidents that police encounter on a daily basis. The training focuses on 3 main issues currently faced by our community: homelessness, addiction, and mental health. PC Richardson and England have not only created bonds with community agencies, but have also created bonds with marginalized members of the community. They're fondly known around the streets as Officer Rob and Officer Rusty. And they're both known to be there to help them when others may not be available to do so. They take the time to listen to their concerns and they act on them. Marginalized members of our society are all too often the victims of crime due to the lack of positive interactions with police. They're left to be victimized without a voice. The officers have greatly closed this gap, particularly building trust with those marginalized individuals. They've helped people reclaim their homes by removing unwanted people such as drug dealers and others looking to take advantage of a free place to conduct illegal activity. The board places tremendous value on the importance of community engagement and positive interactions with the police, and strong relations of mutual trust between police and the communities they serve are really critical to maintaining public safety and effective policing. Rob and Rusty are both exceptional ambassadors for the Niagara Regional Police Service and are very deserving of this award. And I would like to present Officer Rob and Officer Rusty to you.
Great, thank you. Gentlemen, come on forward. And before we do a photograph, I just want to read what it says on each of the plaques. In recognition of your remarkable level of commitment and leadership while assigned to the 1 District Foot Patrol Unit and your exceptional ability to connect with citizens, local organizations, and businesses to foster positive community engagement activities that strengthen and promote proactive concepts to improve community safety by preventing crime. Always good to do, always good to do those. Always good. They don't. We did. We already did. Thanks. At this time, if I could have members Lawson and D'Angela move that this presentation be received. No questions, I assume. All in favor, raise your hand. That's carried. Thank you. Item 8 is our consent agenda. We have items 8.1 through to 8.15. If I could have members Eek and Gale move that the information be received. Are there any questions on any of the items? Okay, member Eek.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Just a brief question with respect to item 8.9, the annual report, management of police records, January 1st through December 31st, 2021. I understand the need for the program for paper records, and I'm wondering if electronic records are treated in a similar fashion, how that may go.
Chief.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I know that Lori Switzer is available. I'm not sure if Acting Superintendent Chris Healy is able to provide some clarification on that.
Yes, electronic records are contained within our retention bylaws as well. So they're also subject to the same retention schedules.
Thank you very much for that. Then the last question I have is, as this is a public forum, I'm just wondering, what is the process for the public if they wish to access policing records under FIPA, the Freedom of Information?
Chief.
Through you, Mr. Chair, they can come to any one of our stations and they can fill out a request for information, and it'll get processed through our FOI unit here at headquarters, and whatever information they're entitled to, they will receive.
Thank you very much, Chief. And just the last question is there a cost associated with that?
Chief.
Through Mr. Chair, yes, there is a cost associated with it, and it really is dependent on the volume of materials that are being requested in the FOI request.
Thank you very much, Chief. I was aware, I think, of what you were telling me, and I just wanted to have that voiced out to the public if there was any concern regarding records. So I thank you very much for your response.
Thanks, member Eek. Further questions on any of the items? Seeing none, all in favor, please raise your hand. And that's carried. Item 9, new business, 9.1, City of Port Colborne Resolution, catch and release justice. Moved by members Gibson and McKendrick that the report forwarded to the city of Port Corbin. This report is forwarded to the city of Port Corbin council members. Questions on this one? All in favor, please raise your hand. That's carried. 9.2 NRPS special fund request Fort Erie Native Friendship Center. Moved by members D'Angelo and Lawson that the board authorize a donation from the special fund in the amount of $2,000 to the Fort Erie Native Friendship Center in support of their food pantry program. Questions? All in favor? That's carried. Item 9.3 NRPS special fund request North American Police Soccer Tournament. Moved by members Gale and Eek that the board authorize a donation from the special fund in the amount of $1,000 to assist with the monetary expenses incurred by members of the NRPS women's soccer team participating in the 2022 North American Police Soccer Tournament. Questions? All in favor? That's carried. Item. No, I got her. She's right there. NRPS or 9.4 NRPS special fund request Crime Stoppers of Niagara. Moved by members Lawson and D'Angelo that the board authorize a donation from the special fund in the amount of $1,250 to Crime Stoppers of Niagara for a whole sponsorship and force them to participate in the 2022 annual golf tournament. Questions? Seeing none, all in favor? That's carried. Oh, sorry, Tara? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know she, but her thumbs up hand, I thought she had a question. That's carried. Other new business, I do have member Eek.
Thank you very much, Chair Steele. In reading the Toronto Star on June 13th, an article caught my attention and it was entitled Toronto Police Review Conduct of Officers in Dozens of Cases. And what the issue resolves around is that Toronto Police is reviewing the conduct of officers in nearly 100 cases after the Toronto Star investigation exposed court decisions that found police seriously violated the rights of the accused. And as a result of that, police force were previously unaware of these cases where judges had determined their efforts breached the Charter of Rights. And the officers' violations were serious enough to prompt judges to toss charges or reduce sentences or exclude key evidence like guns and drugs. And currently, there are no provincial or federal government that has a formal notification system to inform police services when judges find officers have violated the charter. And it indicated that there were a handful of police services told the Torstar that they are informed of the charter rulings through systems they have developed within their courts. So I guess the question I have, I'm wondering if concerns such as these where cases may have been tossed occurs within the Niagara region, and whether or not we're one of those that have developed a working relationship with judges to identify issues such as these. So that is my question, Mr. Chair. I'll leave it to you to.
Through you, and thanks for the question, Member Eek. I would say that there are no formal, as was referenced in the article, there are no formal channels, either provincially or federally, for those notifications to occur. But what I can say that we have received notifications from Crown attorneys, either with the at the provincial level or with the at the federal level, make us aware of situations where there have been charter breaches. And of course, we take those very seriously, and we conduct a review of the circumstances and if necessary, take appropriate disciplinary action through our professional standards unit.
Member Eek?
Yes, thank you very much, Chief. And that's the precise response I think everybody would like to hear. I've heard from you, and I thank you very much and pleased really to see that our working relationships with the courts, et cetera, are to the advantage of everyone. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further new business? Seeing none, on to in-camera reports. We have items 11.1, 11.2, 11.3, and moved by members McKendrick and Gale that in accordance with board direction, the above noted in-camera reports be received for public information. Questions on any of these? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your hand. That's carried. And at this time, I would like to thank everyone for attending via Zoom or who are watching us online. And we'll adjourn this portion of the meeting and we'll be back in 10 minutes for our next.